Hey everyone, today is March the 7th, and we're going to, we saw some behavior today in our reading that was warned against, that God explicitly, specifically cautioned the Israelites against, and exactly what he cautioned them against, they did. And they did it because they were invited to do it. And they were invited to do it by women. We have been short up to this point on female role models, I will say. And before I move forward, I want to say I love being a woman. I would not want to be a man for many reasons. I love my gender. I love everything about being a woman. Well, not exactly everything, but most things. And since we do have some boys in the class, I won't go any further. And I'm not going to go on this woman bashing. This lesson's not going to be about woman bashing. And fourthly, I understand clearly that women were treated differently and viewed differently in the Old Testament, even in the New Testament. Jesus completely radically changed the thinking towards women, and that's very obvious in the culture's idea and treatment of women when he came. And that's till September away till we get to the New Testament. But I want us to think about, we're not treated like the women in the Old Testament, but we definitely need to take caution, because the women that we've seen in the Old Testament have been manipulative. They have been manipulated, very easily naive and manipulative to get their own way. And I don't see anywhere in Scripture where it says that they were led to do certain things because a man invited them to do it. Worship other gods because a man invited them to do it. It was a woman. It was women. It says women invited them to attend services to their gods, so the Israelites feasted with them and worshiped the gods of Moab. In this way, Israel joined in the worship of Baal-peor, causing the Lord's anger to blaze against his people. And I feel like we need to talk very clearly or very openly today about the power that women have. Because we do have some power. Power of persuasion, power of manipulation, and we can use the God-given gifts that we have in very positive ways for his kingdom. And do I mean I sit around and manipulate things? No, that's not what I mean at all. But what I'm saying is women do have the ability and the natural ability to get things done, and for the most part do them in a really good way. God skilled us in different ways than he skilled men. And I'm not male bashing either, saying men can't get things done. Please hear me on that. But what I'm saying is these women invited them. And what I want to look at is the word invite, which is in the original Hebrew, it's more closely translated as call. But I included the definition there. I said it's to request politely or formally, but did you see this? The last part, to attract, allure, entice, or tempt. And what I want us to think about is this. What are we inviting men to do? What are we inviting the men around us to do? The men in our small groups, the men in our office space, the men in our neighborhood, the men in our marketplace, the men that we are in leadership with at church or in the community. What are we inviting them to? By what we're wearing? By our charisma and our body language, our behavior? What are we inviting them to do with our words? And I don't mean it all sexual, please. I'm not even, that's only part of it. But we have to be careful what we're inviting men to do. Walking in the marketplace, where we shop, where we work, where we serve, what are we inviting men to? What are we suggesting? And I want to ask I want us to ask ourselves, what do you depend on to make you beautiful? What are we depending on to make us beautiful? Is it a necklace? Is it earrings? Is it makeup? Is it a real, like, I don't know even how to describe it because my hair is so simple and plain, but anyways, some kind of fancy hairdo? Is it making sure our nails are manicured all the time? Is it making sure the heel on our shoe is a certain height? What are we doing to make ourselves beautiful? What do we depend on to make ourselves beautiful? Peter says this in 1 Peter 3:4. Don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. And I listed the words there, quiet and gentle, and what they mean. And I want to just say this. This is the kind of beauty that only gets better with age. And it's an inner beauty. And let me say this too. This kind of beauty can also be attractive, alluring, and enticing and tempting to men. Because there are men who long for this type of beauty, this gentle and quiet spirit, but don't see it anywhere around them. And this is what they want. So it's not even about external, because we can tone down our external and we can become more and more beautiful with this gentle and quiet spirit inside. But what are we inviting men to do with our actions and with our words and with our proximity? This is really something that's been close to me in about the last 10 years. I am very careful about the men who I hug. Very careful. And there have been men, gentlemen, in places that I have been frequently that know me, that I will say to my husband, you need to jump right in the middle of this because such and such is going to want to hug me. Oh, he's just being, I don't want to hug this person. He's going to want a frontal hug, and I don't want a frontal hug. And he's had to come and he's had to guard me, because it's a place where I don't put myself, but somebody's attracted to that. And where do we sit in meetings? Do we sit beside gentlemen that we know and we're flattered by the fact that they're attracted to our gentle spirit and our quiet spirit? Where do we place ourselves when we're in mixed company? Whether we're in mixed company with people that we know, or we're with mixed company with people that we don't know. I'm not even sure that I'm making sense. I'm not sure that I'm bringing it back around, landing the plane, as my pastor calls it, in this little message. Other than, let's be cautious about what we're inviting men to do. Now, we can't control the men. We can't control the men. But we can control ourselves. And I know people that enjoy it. I know women that enjoy it. And it saddens me. It saddens me to live among people, women that enjoy placing themselves in situations where they are causing a disturbance. If you're a boy on our show today, on our show, I'm sorry, this isn't a show. If you're a boy, a man on the video today, I know that this was a message strongly aimed at women. And I don't know how to make it applicable to a man because I'm not a man. And I can't even speak for men. So, there. I don't really know how to land the plane other than this. Let's be careful. Let's be careful what we're inviting men to do, girls. And men, walk away. Walk away from the invitation. There you go.